Please welcome to the stage Director of Global Programming at the Milken Institute, Leslie Thurman.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Leslie Thurman, as you heard. Welcome to another wonderful session. It's very timely, Words That Work, 2025 edition. In a moment where the right words can connect communities or divide us, this is an important and timely conversation. And who better to lead it than the president of Luntz Global, Frank Luntz. I think no more introduction is needed, so join me in welcoming Frank.
So if you can just tell me where the remote is. Oh, I hate getting on stage. I actually go close to you all. Okay. Thank you very much. You guys in the back, the entire front row is open. I suggest you move up because I'm going to be showing you a lot of slides over the next hour. I want to show you as much information as I possibly can. I hate the fact that I have even these screens in front of me, but just put down the reserve signs. The whole front row is open, and I'm going to take whatever questions you have. First off, hello. Stop drinking coffee this early in the morning.
I don't have any coffee.
We got seats over here in this whole second row and a bunch in the front row right here. You guys in the back, come on up, because I'm going to try to make it valuable for you. Okay, first off, show of hands. Are these the best of times or are they the worst of times? You have to choose. You have to choose. Who says they're the best of times? Raise your hands. Who says they're the worst of times? Raise your hands. Well, just for the record, the best are up in front, the worst are in the back. That says a lot to you. I'm a pessimist, actually. I'm the hardest working pessimist that you will see, and this is how I feel. Some of me, if that was not the Statue of Liberty, that would be me covering my eyes, because we're mad as hell. And I want to begin just by showing you where America is. And once again, for those of you standing in the back, there are still 7 seats up here on the side. Mad as hell. The first time I asked this question was back in 1992 when Ross Perot was running for president. Back then it was 46%. I'm just hoping I was like waiting for him to shoot me as he walked up here. 46% of Americans said mad as hell in 1992. And I thought, how does a country function when you're so angry? And now it's 72%. And every time we do this, it gets worse and worse. And by the way, once again, there are still seats up on this side, and you can easily see the screen. So I'm going to be doing this for 5 minutes because there's really a lot of P.T. Barnum in me, and I want people to be able to experience this, and I do promise I'm going to take questions all the way through. How the hell do you function with a government? How do you get things done when you're just shouting at each other? And that's one of the challenges that we have right now, but it gets worse. 4 out of 5 Americans say this is the most divided that we have ever been. And if you look at the bottom right-hand side, those 65 and older, what does it mean? They saw JFK gunned down. They saw Martin Luther King, Bobby Kennedy. They saw Vietnam War, race riots, our cities burning down, and they're saying 92%. We're more divided now than ever before. I say this because you got to get this right. And I know that there's a few Milken people here because in a moment I'm going to show you how they're getting it wrong. I don't want you to do that anymore. I am literally going to be the person who bites the hand that feeds me. We cannot screw up. I want you all to succeed. I want your businesses. I want more private equity. I want more hedge funds. I want more of all the stuff that you all do. But you're not going to get it if the public wants to punish you, if they're so angry that you're taking advantage of them. Next, and this is the most frightening of all, we ask the question, are you invested in America's future? 2/3 say yes, which means 1/3 don't. The idea that we're not invested in our country, it's never been this low. But that's not the problem. Only 1/3 31% say America's invested in them. I have to say this. I don't want to say this, but we could have some serious trouble this summer. If you don't believe your country's invested in you, if you don't believe your country cares about you, you're willing to do things that you never thought you'd be willing to do. I am concerned. I won't use the word afraid, but I am concerned that things are going to get rough because we don't see that connected fiber and we don't have faith that our government's going to do the things we want it to do. And one more time for the people in the back, there are 7 seats over here in the corner. So you don't have to sit all the way back there, although I realize that some of these people have things in their ears, so they're actually not, they're security people, so y'all can get out. What matters most? This is my life. This is my pursuit. The truth. What is the truth? How many of you watch Fox News? Raise your hands. Come on. Let's try it again. How many of you watch Fox News? Raise your hands. Not many. How many of you watch CNN? Raise your hands. More. CNN's entire audience is in this room. How many of you watch MSNBC? MSNBC is the only news network with more letters in its name than viewers. I think that's funny. I got fired. I said it. I actually said it on the show that's on 10 p.m. It took them 11 minutes to fire me. My father was so proud he bought me a car. We don't know where to get that information. We don't know where to get the truth, which is one of the great challenges. That is my pursuit. That is why I'm standing here in front of you right now, to try to figure this out. Now, I urge you, if you're taking notes, this you're going to want to write down. We asked the question, we wanted to understand, and this is over about a year's worth of research, what are the principles and the values that matter most in America? This is what you're going to link all of your communication to. Let's go. First one is freedom. But if you're a Republican, it's a different kind of freedom than if you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, it's freedom to go to church or synagogue. By the way, how many of you are Jewish? Raise your hands. Don't raise your hands. Have you not learned anything from history? Every time someone has asked that from this stage, it has not worked out for us. For Republicans, it's freedom to go to church or synagogue, freedom to own a gun, freedom to do. For Democrats, it's freedom from racism, freedom from oppression, freedom for fairness. We identify the same word, but we look at it differently. And the reason why I thought that Kamala Harris might actually win this election, and I really did, is because the Democrats talk more about freedom this time than the Republicans. Go look at the conventions. The Republican convention was not discussing freedom, the Democrat was, and I thought this is a significant change. And by the way, anytime you're having a debate and they're arguing whether they're eating the dogs or the cats, usually that candidate's going to lose. But not this time. I actually need to tell you, I was with Donald Trump in his last public event. I have to admit this. You're going to hate me for this. December 23rd, 2020. It was the White House Christmas party. And I finally got the guts to ask him, what does the J in Donald J. Trump stand for? You know what he told me? Genius. Okay, so start with freedom here. Next, it's the truth. Freedom matters most. The truth, the relentless pursuit of the truth is second. Then they want action, and this is one of the reasons why Trump's numbers were so good back in January, is that it was a change. We looked at Joe Biden. Well, Joe Biden was so old it took him an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes. He was so old, his favorite painting was The Last Supper. He's in it. I'm going one more. Joe Biden is so old, the only time he doesn't have to pee is when he's actually peeing. He calls himself a constitutionalist because he was in the room when they wrote the document. We want action now, and we thought that was really great. And by the way, actually they are out of chairs here, but there are 3 chairs. If you can move over one, we can put 2 people right here. So 2 of you come on up. And we got single seats here and there for those of you also. Action, doing, results. It's what they want most. It's why the public hates Congress, because they're not doing anything. You're into business. You're into communication. How are you going to get it done? And that's the phrase for you. Circle it, star it, get it done. Because that's the third highest priority. Fourth is affordability. You all know about that. If someone here calls it inflation, tell them get out. If they call it the economy, stop listening to them, because that's not what the public is concerned about. Please use language that they relate to. It's not the economy. If you're I'm going to give you the phrase, paycheck to paycheck. If you live paycheck to paycheck, which I'm sure the second row does, but most of you don't, it's food and fuel. If you're upper middle class, it's housing and health care. And now, and this is brand new, it's automobiles, it's cars. It's never been that before. We literally cannot make ends meet, and so that affordability becomes so essential, but that is not inflation, because inflation is an MIT term. Inflation is for university presidents. It's not for the public. No one said, I follow people around. Okay, this is actually kind of illegal, but I used to follow people around in supermarkets right here, because I was here during COVID. And I would use the Albertsons and the, what do you call Kroger here? Ralph's. And I would follow, and they're usually women, and I would follow them around as they were shopping during, wait a minute, stop. Does it really matter? Okay, so you get the point. I've never had that happen before, so this is pretty good. But I wanted to understand it, and you have to do this. As a researcher, you have to get your hands wet. And I'm following them around, and they're picking up packages of meat and putting it back. Fish and putting it back, and then they get something. And I'm asking them, what's going on here? And they said to me, I can't afford this. It's too much. And who the hell are you? And I had two people tell store managers, like, what the hell? This is really freaky. This person's following me around asking me questions. And by the way, this is one of the women right now. And one of the store managers knew who I was and did not kick me out, and the other one did. Think about it. When you get to the checkout line and you actually have to put stuff back, is that not the most embarrassing thing in your life? And probably not many of you had to do this. Half of Americans had to do it. 45% could not afford filling up the gas tank. They'd have to put $8 or $10, and it was too expensive. We don't get that. They do. And that's affordability, is not inflation. Next is we want a problem solver. This is also an asset for Trump. He may create the problems, but he solves them after he creates them. By the way, I need to find out, because I'm curious here. No judgment whatsoever. Who here likes Trump? Raise your hands. Once again, only in the front row. Who here does not like Trump? Raise your hands. Hold on one sec. Hold on. Who does not like him? Front row, turn around. They're going to kick your ass. I feel safe with you sitting in front of me, but the last thing I'm going to see is them jumping over you to get to me. So problem solver really does matter. Next, accountability. For those of you in corporate America, this is absolutely essential. They want to know that if you don't keep your promises, they can hold you responsible. And this is another reason why in the political realm, accountability has been why people don't trust politicians, because no one holds themselves accountable. Cleaner, safer, healthier. Who's an environmentalist here? Not that many. Good to know. By the way, she's too busy filming to put her hand up. You don't want to film this if you can't, because I'm going to be candid with you, and I don't want to have myself. I don't want to be canceled after this is done. It is not sustainability, and hear me on this. Sustainability means the status quo. Sustainability means that that lake, that river is going to be just fine 50 years from now. That is not an American terminology. We want things better, do we not? Our kids, we expect them to have better lives than us. We pass things down to the next generation. Cleaner, safer, healthier. If you're about sustainability or the status quo, if you're about cleaner, safer, healthier, you're about better. Number 8, which in my own life, is higher than this, but this is where it comes in with America, the idea of pulling us together. Unity was never an issue until the last 2 years. Now it's an issue for a lot of people, much more on the Democratic side than the Republican side. Notice the last phrase, they're working together. The key element is side by side. Working together is the attribute. Side by side, we can see it. And I'm asking the business community right now to use language that's visual, not just verbal. Side by side, we imagine it. You're all sitting side by side here. That is what entices people. By the way, does anyone back there want a seat? Any of you? Are you sure? Someone does? Anyone want a seat there? You're pathetic. This is at the JP Morgan conference, everybody wants a seat. At the Milken conference, nobody wants a seat. What the hell? That side by side is what makes it powerful, because I can see it and I can feel it. Finally, and this is a tie, fairness and justice, which is very much a Democrat attribute, and retirement security, which is very much an older attribute. And I believe, so this is all put together over the last year. Over the last month, 401ks really went to hell. And people are upset over that because their retirement savings was hurt. And it's changing how they live. It's changing how they look at government. Here's my shock. It's not changing attitudes towards Donald Trump. I actually have Trump voters telling me the stock market was overvalued. I don't deserve these gains. I've never had people actually say, I need to give money back. This is, are you guys Jewish? I know I asked you before. It's Meshuggah. I don't know any other way to describe it, but they actually feel this way, which is a lesson to you all. These Trump people are not going away. And I want to emphasize this. Their anger and their frustration towards Washington, their distrust towards corporate America, their support for everything that Trump does is deeper than any presidential candidate I have ever seen. You'd have to go back to FDR in 1933 to have someone with this kind of intensity. So this is not going to change. Any question before I go on? Very quickly. Yes? Well, I say more about the why behind it. Yes, they look at Donald Trump as their savior. Religious people, we know how Trump's behavior is. Religious people see him as the protector that will protect the Bible and protect the right to pray and protect them even though they have to ignore things that he says and does. People in business see him as someone that they can talk to. The entire business community completely folded over the last 5 months. Didn't help Google, didn't help Facebook, but they're trying to get on his bright side or his better side. The key in this is who's going to stand up and speak out and fight for you. And Joe Biden was so out of it that that's one of the reasons why the difference happens. Last one. And I will repeat the question. So did I repeat your question? Okay.
Compared to your point from the 1990s at 40% instead of 70% being angry, how would you characterize now the state of resiliency amongst people in America? Are we in some respects more prone to grievances now than we would have been decades ago?
How would I characterize our resilience, and are we more prone to grievances? We absolutely are, because it's a grievance culture now. And grievances, I'm offended. Everyone is waiting to say that word. I know there are at least 25 people in this room right now that can't wait to stand up and say to me, Frank, I'm offended. It's what we become. It used to be that you have the right to disagree, and we're going to argue over it, and then we're going to go out for a drink. That in teaching, in universities, in sessions like this, we came to disagree, we came to learn, and we came together. And that does not exist anymore because those tissues that unite us don't exist. And the reason why? Social media. I asked the question where you get your news. CBS, ABC, NBC, it's not that different. Fox and MSNBC, it's like night and day. We get our news to affirm us, not inform us. And that's the problem. And I don't know how to get around that. Let me go on, and I'll keep stopping for this. In terms of the most important attribute we need for leadership, honesty and integrity. If any of you have the ability to create this, I'm going to tell you, create a chief integrity officer for your business, for your organization, and celebrate that. Because that says accountability. That says that what you say is what you mean, and you'll do what you say. And there's nothing else that's even close to that. Because we're tired of being lied to, at least perceived as being lied to. A chief integrity officer is the best title you could ever have. And it's a title that says that this is a company that's a good company that should be trusted. Notice how low inclusive is. Nobody cares. If you've got DEI right now in your department, get rid of it. That is not the language of 2025. There are parts of DEI that absolutely are essential, and I'm going to show you the alternative to that. By the way, notice bipartisan and nonpartisan is almost at the bottom, because we don't want anything that's political. Remove the politics out of your lexicon. So this is what they want. I'm going to show this. They want honesty, integrity, smart, intelligent. We ask them, the bigger the word, the more likely they are to say it. Corrupt, selfish, arrogant, greedy, incompetent. I showed this to a presentation of congressmen who, one of them was here, and they started to laugh when I put this slide up. It's the only time I've ever done this. My response was, that's bullshit. And I used that word. And you never do this to a member of Congress, but I did, because they thought this was funny. This is America right now. This is what your constituents think of your institution. This is a problem. And they thought this was amusing. So just know that what I say here is what I say anytime I get in front of them. I'm trying to make a difference. Okay. I'm not a fan of hers. It's a cool dress. I'm trying to figure out how to get some sort of shirt that says, tax the rich. Not that I believe in it, but I think it'd be funny to wear. Look at this right now. This is why this presentation is so important. Among the country, 63% want a wealth tax, only 18% are opposed. They want to tax everyone in this room, most of you. And they're going to do everything they can to do it. And when Trump is not there anymore, because there will be a pendulum that swings back, they're coming after you. And you better get your words right, because this is significant. But watch this. Family-owned businesses represents what's great about America. 91% agree. If you're a global corporation, you're awful. If you're a family, multi-generational family business, you're awesome. I don't know what you are here, because it's a good mixture. But the more that you relate to family, the more that you connect to community, the more freedom you'll have to operate, and the more popular you will be. Okay, I'm going to stop again. Is there a question? Yes, sir.
Frank, I think there used to be this perception that 10% on both sides were the one who made all the noise, and 80% were sort of in the middle, plus or minus the same gravitational pull. Is it your perception that that 80 is now fracturing, and it's actually much more divided than what history has often suggested?
Yes, and we're now a U. It used to be an upside-down U with the most people in the center. Now it's the opposite. Most people on the right, most people on the left, and a smaller and smaller percentage are in the center. This was the time, 2024, to have a Joe Manchin, to have a Mark Cuban, to have someone else. And it didn't happen. And the public was interested, but it didn't happen. The more that we polarize, and the thing is, it's not just that you're pro-Trump, it's that you hate the Democrats. It's not that you're pro-AOC, it's that you hate Trump. So much of our politics and our society and our teaching and our communication is to increase the level of hate, and it's literally, actually literally making me sick. This is not the country I grew up in. And it's why I need you all to say to people, and we're going to get to a word there in a moment. There's one word, if you're taking notes, I want you to write down as I say it. And it's the word enough. In all caps with an exclamation point. We need someone to stand up and say, enough with this crap. Enough with the polarization. Enough with the toxicity. Just enough. But no one's doing that right now. And that's one of the problems that we have. I'll come back. You'll get the next one. Okay, so now I'm going to get to some of the language specifically. Here's your 30-second message. This is what we want to be. I don't know how this applies to you. I need you to find a way to make this apply. Because in the end, we should be a place. You're promoting new ideas, better solutions, and good people. Never forget that as you communicate about your constituents or your products, in the end, you have to personalize it, individualize it, and humanize it in everything that you say and do. Personalize it so they see humanity. Individualize it so they see themselves. These are not theories. This is one of the reasons why I hate the word capitalism. And we'll get to that in a moment. But what do we want? Global innovation, ingenuity, and real results. This phrase, this 30 seconds, we've been looking to beat it, and we can't, because this is what the American people want. I don't know how you use it in business, but I'm thinking that you're innovative enough and ingenuity that you'll figure out a way. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you this because this is going to freak you out. Stop calling it capital. In fact, everybody raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. I state your name. I state your name. Will never use the word capitalism ever again. I will pay Frank Luntz $1,000. Stop. Capitalism is Wall Street. Capitalism is about money already. Capitalism is about wealth. Economic freedom is about Main Street. It's about mom and pop businesses. It's about aspirational. Capitalism is the people in this room, frankly. Economic freedom is all the people who helped you get into this room. There's a 20-point gap. Please change it. Please. Because you're hurting us if you don't. Next, esteemed. What the hell is esteemed? I'm thinking that it's because my pants were wrinkled or something. It's respected. And once again, write the word respect, circle it, star it, because it's what Americans want most. Transformative, nobody knows what that means, but they do know what impact means. You want to be, and this is great for all of you do investing. If you're an impact investor, it says you're making a difference. It says that you're bringing about that positive change. Transformative sounds like a movie. Impactful is about what the public wants. Inclusive and equitable is now off limits. Our society now will punish you and they'll go after you. But the values of it and the mission of it still matter. So what we're trying to do is increase opportunity, availability, and accessibility. That's how you shift. And that's the change in your naming of these programs. Diversity. It's not diversity. Every individual from every community, from every corner of the country. You say every 3 times. Does that not mean diversity? But it doesn't have the poisonous impact because half Americans think diversity is awful. So if we don't get rid of it, because we know that we're stronger if we're all included, we're stronger if everyone's involved. Everyone, every community, every corner in the country. It's not that all voices are heard or valued, it's that all voices are respected. Because respect is the value that we want most out of our lives. In every possible way, we want to be respected by our bosses, we want to have respect at home. Everything about us is about respect and paradigm shift. Stop trying to be bless you, an English teacher. I'm even allergic to paradigm shifts, so I get that. It's permanent impact. Now, let me show you this. I'm trying to see if Conrad is still here. This is your language, guys. This is the language that was put out by this place, and those of you, if this is being filmed, you're going to want to pull this out. This is what the panel was called. And you see people getting sick just reading this right now. Do you understand the difference? If you were still here, I could have called you and they would have made this change immediately. I don't know who wrote this, but you should hunt them down and kill them. I'll stop here. Any questions on this? And everyone's afraid. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Not to backtrack too far, but the upside down U, like, are we really that polarized? Because, like, you know, when I'm in Indiana or Michigan, it feels like that last slide is almost the Rosetta Stone of people actually are in the same place. They're just
Have you been to Michigan recently?
Yeah.
They hate each other.
I know Trump people that get along with Kamala Harris when they just talk to each other, when they actually describe what they want our leaders to do.
In so many ways, Michigan is ground zero for a lot of this, and it never used to be that way. I'll give you another state as an example. Wisconsin. There was Minnesota nice and Wisconsin kindness. And then politics got in the way. It was Scott Walker was governor. That state still has not recovered. Union people and management used to be able to sit in the same room and have discussions, and they would be tough, but they could resolve things. They don't resolve anything anymore, and Michigan, in this last Senate election, and these were not extreme candidates, it got rough. So I'd like to go to wherever you're going. Maybe you're going into the Lake District. Maybe it's because you've been drinking battery acid and it's all gone okay with you, but I don't know Michigan that way. Okay, we're gonna go on. Okay, talked about respect. I want you to see the polling behind this. And for those of you in the back, I can't help you. I tried to move you up. I gave you the chance. I know the lines are small, but I want you to know that this is not my opinion. This is all based on scientific research. And in the end, even as you know how important integrity is, respect is even higher. By the way, if you look down at the bottom, tolerance and dignity don't matter. When you say I'm tolerant, that's the lowest level of acceptance. I will tolerate you. Now, by the way, if you are Jewish, it's an even I tolerate him. Add the extra grandmother kind of froggy throat thing. It doesn't work because it's the lowest value. When you say to someone, I respect you, I respect your point of view, I respect your existence, that says that you appreciate and value and celebrate. And tolerance is, and dignity is also not good because it's political. Okay, these are all examples of different companies. Some of you are represented here because I saw the list of people who signed up. I kept your names out of it, so you shouldn't be mad at me. Shaping Culture and Conversation is a company that's represented here, and it is the most divisive, negative way to communicate. And the reason why is they don't want corporations shaping anything. Stop. The employees may want you to do it. The customers don't. The communities don't. They want you to give people good jobs, good wages. They want you to fire people. But they're not asking you to change the culture. The second one down, advancing equity and opportunity. It doesn't work anymore. It may have worked 20 years ago. Even then, equity was not effective, but it was problematic. And supporting marginal communities, what do they want you to do? Support everyone. We're tired of being divided. We're tired of people seeing us by our gender or our race or where we come from. And on the left and on the right, what we're asking to be seen as is as Americans. And marginalized communities leaves people out. Yes?
I take your point on equity. Do you feel the same way about opportunity?
No, I do not. So she asked me, I take your point on equity, but do I feel the same way about opportunity? No, opportunity has to be there, because, by the way, if opportunity is not there, then we're a fraud. And that's one of the things that I challenge the financial community. Are you actually providing genuine access to capital? Because that's when you can say it, but are you doing it? And I want capitalism to exist. And the only way that it exists is if we keep our word. We're changing our language. We're changing our policies. Do people who've been shut out have access now? It's a tough question to answer, but it needs to be answered. I like that. Okay, stuff on the other side. What do they want? Listening to customers, employees, and all communities it serves is the best way. On your websites, talk about listening, and that's actually not really good enough. This is what I asked, but I can beat this. Listening to and learning from. Listening to his process, learning from his result, and I want you to be able to do both. By doing both, you're showing that you're good company. Meaningful, measurable, positive impact. Meaningful so it's significant. Measurable so you can prove it. Meaningful and measurable, they're not just empty words. I'm giving you language that will make a difference because the people hear it. And impact is not good enough unless it's positive. So as good as respect is, it only came in third. But it's still important. Next, I'll let you take a look at this. The rights and respect for all communities that matter to employees. 38% chose that line. Only 16% chose we seek to uplift voices and perspectives that aren't always heard. 2-1. Copy it. I don't care. It's not, I don't copyright my stuff. So just take it. That's the purpose of this, for you to get words that will help you in the businesses that you do. And yes, if you want to take a picture of this, you can. I know that the words are small. Once again, for those in the back, who cannot read these words? Well, it's your own damn fault. So I'll go through some of these. It's your choice. You decide. That's empowerment. That's giving them the right to decide or even not to decide. We amplify every voice. The key there is the word every, and we make it louder. Imagine is the most powerful word in the English language. That's another word that I would tell you to circle and star. If I asked you to imagine life at perfection, every one of you has a different dream. Every one of you has a different vision, and all of you are correct. Imagine America at its best. You're seeing it as you're thinking it, and that's what makes for powerful communication. Yes? Oh, now I'm helping photography here. Okay, wait 1 second. Take it again. Get ready. Yes. That was harder for me than you realized. Okay. A fact-based approach. This is one that drives me nuts. It's not evidence. It's facts. There's evidence for the prosecution, there's evidence for the defense. Lawyers know how to use it. Who's a lawyer here? Raise your hand if you're a lawyer here. Get out. I've just always wanted to say that. Do you got your security, right? But you got this thing in your ear? Can you throw her out, maybe? I'll pay you to remove all the lawyers. We argue over evidence. We don't argue over facts. Take a fact-based approach to everything that you say from this point forward, because they won't argue over it. Representing every perspective. It's not the word universal, because we still remember universal health care. Representing every, and I looked at the difference between every and all, because I'm a geek. And by the way, some of these phrases that you see up here have been developed over time. I did a presentation like this maybe 10 years ago, and about half is still the same, and half is brand new. All people, all places is not as powerful as every. All is more about society. Every is about every individual. And once again, I'm always trying to personalize everything. So if you say all, fill in the blank, it's not as powerful. Together we can. And it's the comma that's also pretty powerful. Together, pause, we can. What is the loudest sound that you can make? Silence. And I'm not going to do it for you because there's so much I want to get through. Together, pause, we can. For those of you who do speeches or involved in communication, know when to have that moment of quiet, that moment of reflection, because that's what makes everything that much more powerful. I know I'm a geek. I know that this sounds unimportant. It makes a difference. Remember JFK's great speech? Ask not what your country can do for you. That's horrible English. Ask not. That's what I remember. Don't ask what you can do for your country. That never would have worked. Ask not. And he paused. I have a dream. What happens after that? Pause. And then he explained it. And by the way, the cadence reverses itself when he's going halfway through. He makes this statement and then says, I have a dream. Pause. That pause is the most important part of communication. I'm going to keep going because I got visual stuff for you. I told you about cleaner, safer, healthier. It's 3-to-1. By the way, human capital, stop saying it. When you see Mike Milken, I want you to do me a favor. Go up to him, stand up for a second. I'm picking a guy that looks like I could actually take if I need to. When you see Mike Milken, I want you to go, Mike, no more human capital. Just like that. Just don't knock him over. Hey, Sharf, get off your phone. The whole time. Because this is good stuff for you. Human capital, we don't want a dollar sign after us. We don't want to be seen as a financial statistic. We are human talent. And the Human Resources Department, please change its name to Human Talent. Human Resources says you're in trouble, and it says that something went wrong. Human talent is part of celebrating who we are as individuals. These are changes that you can make to the people in your office, to their titles, that'll actually increase engagement internally and externally. The last thing is that nobody cares about your government oversight and compliance. It doesn't matter to people. What matters is accountability, responsibility, and transparency. It's not even close. Let me show you a few more, and then I'll do more questions. Efforts. I know it's the last one. Our efforts. No, you don't have effort. You only have result or no result. In fact, you will agitate people. You'll make them angry if you talk about we're trying to. That word trying, get it out of your lexicon, get it out of your lexicon efforts, and talk about results and impact. We don't accept failure anymore because we're tired of it. We've had it for 20 or 30 or 40 years. Effort says you want to, result says you did. So please, efforts of trying are gone. One more. Actually, that's fine for that list. Which of the following phrases give you the most positive feeling? Respect for all people and every community. Standing up for the rights of all. Everything that's as expansive as you can get is going to be seen positively. Notice reflects the diversity of consumers, comes in at the end. And I want you to look at the advancing equity and opportunity. Only 18% of Republicans prioritize that, 56% of Democrats. So here's the deal. If you're a company that only serves Democrats, keep equity, keep diversity, keep inclusion. If you serve Republicans, you better get out of your lexicon because they will literally stop doing business with you. All you have to do is ask Target the impact that these boycotts have had there. Diversity, equity, inclusion, all that we do, 20%. A positive impact on the people and communities we serve, 43%. It means the same thing, but you get a 2-to-1 impact. Let me stop. Questions? I'll take 2 now. Anybody? Yes, sir.
On the prior slide, you said...
Hold on.
On the prior slide, you had world peace through world trade.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yes, it's the idea, and I'm going to go to visuals, by the way, in a second. The more that we engage, here's the problem. The administration's changed, so the policies changed. And the argument was the more that we engage the world, the more peaceful the world becomes. But we're disengaging in the world, so I don't know how to handle that now. But I will tell you that the American people want more engagement, not less. They want more trade, not less. They want more involvement, not less. They want more interplay, not less. They want more sharing, not less. What is happening is not supported by the American... I can't believe I'm saying this. What is happening is not supported by the American people. Funny, you should find that. But yes, that was written between the election and the inauguration. I had no idea we were going to change. Okay, I'm going to skip language because I only have 15 more minutes. Oh, I have to go back actually to this. Please give them a detailed plan of action. For those of you who are in business and pitching, trying to raise money, trying to make a difference. Your mission doesn't matter because that's only about you. Your manifesto, that's political. A detailed plan of action says you're going to get it done. And there's no other phrase that comes even close to that. Also, the consequences of failure. It's negative. It's, you have to have what happens if we don't get this done. And the word consequence actually gets people to focus personally. If I say to you right now, the consequences of ignoring this, you're going to pay attention to me for the next 5 minutes. That word consequence somehow stops the brain and gets us to think, what's going to be the impact we're going to have? Consequence really, really does matter. I gotta go. I want to go to the visuals, so I'm sorry for this. I just ran out of time. Accountability and oversight. Guess what they call the committees in Washington? Oversight committees. Nobody wants oversight is process. Oversight is performance. Accountability is actually holding people responsible. I don't care what your oversight committee is internally in business. I do care that you have accountability measures. That should be on your website. Okay, most popular visual in America to describe American patriotism is right here. Obviously, it's the Statue of Liberty. I've been told by New Yorkers, and you guys shout it out, so I'm not going to try to fake it, but yes, that is a sunrise, not a sunset. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. That's a sunset, not a sunrise. But most people don't know that. And that's the sun coming up over the statue. You don't see her. It's a silhouette, and that says a new dawn, a new beginning. Some New Yorker shouts out and says, yeah, but no, that's a sunset. That works. You can take a picture here. Get children into the photograph. But don't touch them. Okay, this group is laughing too hard because children are sincere. Children are unpolitical. We care about them. This does not work in Britain. Is anyone here from Britain? Why do you not love your children? We've tested this. I'm going to show you the numbers momentarily. You love little animals. We love children. I know you send your kids away to school and they call you father rather than dad. But I can see it, and the kids are the best. Number 2, don't look at the camera. Go back to your website, go back to your annual reports. If you're staring at the camera, it's fake and phony and rehearsed and not authentic. Your photographs, if you're staring at the camera, you're setting it up. You're doing something that isn't real. Stop. Third is to have this interaction rather than individual shots, because the interaction is, once again, humanity. Fifth, I'm skipping 4. These people who take their photograph and they're looking like this, we hate them. Because this, oh, I'm thinking. No, you're not. You're being an idiot. Colors matter. I'm going to show you momentarily. The color yellow is positive. The color yellow is the future. The color yellow is uplifting. And the color gray is the worst. Gray is fear. Yellow is hope. Stop putting all these photographs and stuff. One powerful picture outdoes 3 small ones. And let's go. Website. Johnson & Johnson. Of all the websites that we tested, this one was the best because people remember some of those items. And they relate to it. And this is the worst. Why are you celebrating that schmuck? You know he doesn't care about you. You know he's sending an assistant out for coffee every 90 minutes. You know that he cuts you off at... by the way, you know that he goes into these rapid checkout lines with too many items. It's not the polar bear. It's the polar bear cub. It's not the fire. It's the guy on the roof. And what it's not the floods. And it's not some sort of graphic. I want to show you again. It's the polar bear cub when you're communicating about climate and issues of the environment. And it's the actual feeling. You know how that guy feels. You personalize this. You're in that photograph thinking, what would you do now? But you're not, oops, sorry. But you're not in those photographs. Another example. We love the world being passed to that baby's hands. It's the #1 photograph when I'm communicating environmental issues. For Britain, it's passing the tree. As Americans, you've seen one tree, you've seen them all. In Britain, I guess you love trees. Maybe you'll explain it to me sometime. So you can see the numbers. I don't even remember what the numbers are. The British, 29% chose the deer. Americans, only 24%, because what actually happened is just after this picture was taken, Americans shot the deer. That's new, by the way. The kids jumping up, we chose 23%. In Britain, they only chose that. 17% chose that as their best photograph, because once again, they don't like kids being happy. So go figure. And what doesn't work? Bikes, balloons, graphics. Show me life. And you're showing me good communication. Okay, I want to know which one of these is life at perfection. You can only choose one of them. For those in the back, you probably can't see it, but again, it's your fault. Which is the best one here? Let's see who knows. Who says it's #1? Who says it's #2? Right after that picture's taken, she falls and breaks her hip. Who says it's #3? Have you flown out of Newark recently? Who says it's #4? With that dorky hat? Who says it's #5? The #1 answer for that one was mosquitoes. Who says #6? Usually one guy does. That's divorce. And there's your number. So for those of you who got it right, good for you. Color. Gray freaks people out, and I want you to see this. When you show gray, by the way, we're going to run out of time here. Stay forever? I can barely stand. I'm serious. So use gray, use black, and everything else doesn't matter. Look at the difference in how the same photograph is different when you go gray. Next, what's joy and happiness? It's yellow, it's light green, and blue, more than anything. And the best example is this. You want to show success? I don't know how the hell he got up there. And if this were me, I'd leave him there and not bring him down. But that looks like success. I want to show you the next one because I love this. We created this for Pepsi. This is my favorite visual creation of all time. Men love this. It's the #1 picture for men. Women hate this. Why do women hate this? Because yes, you got to clean it up. I don't care. I want the drink just leaping out of the glass with a touchdown, and my wife will clean it up. This, you can taste it. This is what I'm asking you for your visuals in business, is to be this evocative that you feel it, you taste it, it's something emotional to you, it brings you in. Can you feel her peace of mind? You don't see her, but you don't have to. You get that feeling, and it's the right blue, because it's the ocean blue. I love this. This is my favorite slide in the whole presentation. On the left, that is a dream for women. On the right, that is a dream for men. On the left, men look at this and say, I hate this. On the right, men look at this and say, that's me. I'm sorry, ladies, but men don't want to get a massage with you. And I'm sorry, guys, but that guy looks like such an asshole. He looks like he just got divorced. Top choice for men, lowest choice for women in both cases. We think differently, we act differently. Your photograph should represent who your clients are, who your customers are. And it's not the same. Another example, this one's fun for me. That left picture is what young drivers, the first-time car buyers, that's what they want. If you're 65 years old, that picture on the left means death. It's not open. It's open for business. This is how, when I was doing interviews and I'm still hiring people, open is a process. Open for business is the result. And that indicates to you that something is working. That picture, that is an actual brochure for a financial services firm that used to be represented at Milken, and they got really mad that I put this up. They looked at that and they said, they're on a bike. You think that's safe? They crash right after the picture is taken. That doesn't teach security. That doesn't teach predictability. It's awful. Another example, I thought they were selling luggage. This is another example of an investment firm. Y'all, if I'm not running out of here. So if y'all want to hand me a brochure, I'll be happy to take a look at it, but you may not like the result. This is perfection at work because she's being celebrated. She loves it. They appreciate it. This is exactly the best workplace environment. Want to see the worst? Nobody wants to be working behind a desk. No one wants to be staring at computers, and no one wants to sit next to that guy screaming in the center. You need to show this. You need to communicate this. The picture on the left, I love that, Steve Wynn. Single best hotel shot we've ever tested still, and that hotel's been around now for 25 years. On the right-hand side, it's the best. She's in a hammock. She's got a drink. She's looking at the ocean. We have caused so many hotel chains to find hammock photographs. Here's the problem. They'll put a hammock between two trees in a parking lot. It doesn't quite work when you're looking at cars and waste and you're not looking at the sky, but that's perfection in travel. Vegas should always be shot at night. Beach shots at sunset. These are givens. You'd be shocked. Hyatt, I did not use this picture. I assume Hyatt's not here right now. They have a woman in a bathrobe sitting on a toilet. Everyone who checks into a room, y'all, a lot of you staying here, you want to think it's the first time anyone's been in that room. Her ass has been on your toilet, and I don't understand why they do this. I'll be done in 5 minutes. That's just a 5-minute warning. Skip that. Sports, this will be the last thing I want to show you. This is the #1 sports photograph. That's Green Bay. Every fan wants to be able to touch success. Do you see that player smiling? Do you see the guy with the green hair? Look where his elbow is. This is what we want out of visuals, is that idea being there. Another example. By the way, for women, Aaron Rodgers, for half of moms, him shaking the hand of that kid was precious because they want to see the joy, the sheer joy in the kid's face. For the other women, they were applauding Aaron Rodgers' ass, just so you know. And on the left side, Cam Newton's giving that kid a football. These are pictures from 15 years ago. They're still powerful today. This is grit. This is hustle. This is determination. This is why we watch sports, for this photograph. And finally, physicality. #1 photograph we've ever tested in basketball because of the conflict, because he's running up against him. You see the intensity on his face. And we want to see the players cheering, not the fans, and you don't have shots individually alone. I know I'm out of time. I'll do 3 quick questions. Anyone got them? Yes, sir.
How do we get someone in power to say enough and really mean it?
That's your choice. You're going to have to do it. I'll give you a couple names. Wes Moore out of Maryland, Cory Booker out of New Jersey, Mitch Landrieu out of Louisiana, Nikki Haley out of I don't know where. There are some people who will do it, but the fact is 95% of the politicians are afraid of who's in charge and won't do it right now. 2 more, but let's focus on communication. Are there 2 more? Yes, go ahead.
In my mind, it feels like we're beyond the words we and together. What are your thoughts on that?
We're almost beyond it, but we're not beyond it right now. I wanted to do this. I wanted this presentation because if anyone's going to make a difference, it's you all. And I need to end on this. I'm not healthy. I don't know if you can hear my voice. I'm sorry I sound like this. There's nothing I can do. The fact that I stood for an hour is remarkable for me. I will go down in 5 minutes. And if I bump into you, I'm sorry, but I don't have balance. And if I seem really, really tired, it's because I am. You can make a difference. The people in this room, who you talk to, who you relate to, who you communicate to, and the people you communicate to, they can change this. But it has to start with you. It has to start with us in this room. Mike Milken has changed the world. The least we can do is fix ourselves right now. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you for being here.
Walking